All right, good morning, second grade students. Today for social studies, we are going to continue looking at different types of maps, and today we are specifically going to be looking at a land and water map of the state of Arizona. So we're going to be looking at a couple different things together, and then afterwards you can take the Edmodo quiz on Edmodo. So first we're going to introduce the map. So with some maps, they only show us cities. So they're only going to show where certain cities are located and what their names are. So we're going to underline that some maps show only cities. Now, other maps, like the maps we're going to look at today, show things such as deserts, mountains, and also rivers. So we're going to be looking at a map here of Arizona. So this map is going to show us different land features where water is found in the state, and also a few of the larger cities. So you've probably been to these cities before. So let's go and look at this map here. All right, so here we have a land and water map of Arizona. So again, it said on this map we are going to see water, land, and some of the larger cities. So let's first start with water. So there's going to be two main rivers in the state of Arizona. So let me grab my pen here. And since we're going to be talking about water, let's grab a blue color here. All right, so the first one we see over kind of on the left is the Colorado River. So we see that it starts up kind of by the Grand Canyon, goes through the Grand Canyon, and comes along on the border of Arizona and the state of California. All right, so let's take our pen and let's fill in and trace where this river goes. All right, and then the other river is the Gila River, and this one starts on the opposite end of the state over by where New Mexico is, and goes all the way across right below Phoenix, and it eventually connects up with the Colorado River. So those are our two main rivers in the state of Arizona. So now let's head over to our land features. So with land features, we're talking about things like mountains or deserts, things like that. So in the state of Arizona, we have deserts, we have mountains. So let's go in with our pen and let's do the desert first. So when I think of a cactus, I think of a green color. So let's grab that, and right below Phoenix we see the Sonoran Desert, and so we see some cactuses here. So let's color those in, and so we know that this is where the desert's going to be. And so we know the desert is usually pretty dry, so let's grab kind of a light brown color. And we can also kind of fill in kind of some of the ground here as well to kind of show where the desert is located. All right, so then let's move on to kind of our mountains. So let's take like a light gray color here. And we see on our map key that these little mounds here are mountains. And so, of course, we are very familiar with the White Mountains of the state of Arizona. And so we see that there are actually a fair amount of places that do have mountains. So we see that even kind of down farther by Tucson. All right. And then some other land features that we have are also the Painted Desert, which is a national park, and we have the Grand Canyon, which is also a national park. So let's take kind of this light red color here. And we'll kind of fill in these two spots. So again, these are probably places that many of you have visited before. All right, and then lastly, we're going to talk about some of the larger cities in Phoenix. So on this map, they're going to show us 3 different cities that are the 3 biggest cities in the state of Arizona. So let's grab a new color here. And we're going to see Phoenix. And we see it even has the star, which tells us that is the capital of the state of Arizona. We also see Tucson. And up by the Grand Canyon, we see Flagstaff. So those are our 3 main cities in the state of Arizona. So now let's head back up to our page up here. All right, so we just looked at this Arizona state map that included land, water, and a few cities. So now let's quickly review the symbols. So let's underline that. So the symbols on the map key. And then we're also going to look at the small map of the U.S. to see where Arizona is located within the United States. So let's first go back down to our map and let's look at our map key here. So our map key has the desert. So if we see these little specks, that tells us kind of where the desert is located in the state. And then we have the little mounds, which show us mountains. Next, we have the canyon, that kind of is the mound with a few more lines in it. Next, we have kind of the wavy lines that show us where the rivers are and where they connect in the state. Next, we have the star next to Phoenix, again, which tells us it is the capital city for the state. And lastly, the little dot next to Tucson and Flagstaff tell us cities. Now, looking at our map here, which we can zoom in a little bit here. We see where Arizona is located in the United States. So let's circle where that is. So we know that it connects with California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. All right, so now we're going to head back up to our page that we were on before. All right, so next we are going to talk a little bit about the deserts that we find in Arizona. So the Painted Desert, which is in northeastern Arizona. So let's underline Painted Desert in northeastern Arizona. So let's quickly go back to our map and we see where the Painted Desert is located. And so the Painted Desert is known for its colorful rocks. The Sonoran Desert in southern Arizona, which if we go back, we see the Sonoran Desert is kind of down by Tucson. So the Sonoran Desert is hot and dry, but it also gets short periods of heavy rains. Giant saguaro cactus plants grow there. So let's underline saguaro cactus. And the desert consists of graveled, covered plains, rocky hills, and mountains, and dry lake and river beds. So Arizona also has mountains and canyons. The famous Grand Canyon is a major tourist attraction in the state. So the Grand Canyon is one of the largest canyons in the world. So that's really cool. So it was formed by the Colorado River. The Grand Canyon is about 1 mile deep and 277 miles long. So 2 rivers are shown on the map, and those again are the Colorado and the Gila. So 3 cities are also shown on the map. So again, in this lesson, the physical features are deserts, canyons, mountains, and rivers. So now we're going to quickly go through our vocabulary, and then you can go ahead and head to Edmodo to take the quiz. So our first vocab word is canyon. And a canyon is a deep valley with steep sides. Next we have desert. And so a desert is a dry, sandy, or rocky area. It is very hot in the daytime, and it can get very cold at night. Next we have landform, and a landform is a shape of land such as a mountain. Next we have mountain, and a mountain is a very high piece of land, and it is considered higher than a hill. And our last one is river. So a river is a large stream of water that flows across land. All right, and that ends our lesson today on maps and specifically looking at land and water features in Arizona.